The Overtime Elite stuff doesn't even matter too much anymore because guess what? He's not even playing for them anymore. Check this out and let me know in the comment section if you've ever heard of anything like this, but this is the first time I've seen something like this ever happen in my life. Whoa, hold on. Let me ask you a question. Do you know who Julian Newman is? Now, I'm going to assume about 99.8% of you said yes to that question. We all know Julian Newman. He's a high school basketball legend, and I'm actually going to take up for him. I know everybody likes to joke on him, and trust me, I'm here for all the jokes. If you've been watching the channel, you know how I am. But there's one thing you can't take away from him, and that's his work ethic. Julian had skill and he had talent. It's just unfortunate he only grew to be about 5'5". And I also know some people's gonna say, well, Matt, how are you calling him a legend if he never really accomplished anything out of high school? And that's the point. He's a high school legend. When it comes to the high school basketball community, people are gonna remember the name Julian Newman for years to come, and that's what being a legend's all about. With all that being said, we're not here to talk about Julian in today's video. We're here to talk about one of his former teammates. I gotta give a major shout out to the person who commented this video idea on one of the former Julian Newman vids we made about a month ago. I have to apologize though because I had the comment and I was like, okay, it'll probably be there when I go back and try to find it for this video, but I lost it. That's my fault. I didn't screenshot it, but whoever commented it, you know who you are. That comment got over 100 likes and it was short and sweet, and all the person stated was, yo Matt, this was a great video, but what happened to his teammate Emmanuel Maldonado? When I first saw that comment, it was only about a day or two ago, and the only reason I went back to that video was to see if anybody had any more video recommendations for the future, and here we are. I say this time after time because we got new people coming to the channel every single day, but your guys' video requests I take into account largely. I would say about 85 to 90% of the videos I make on this channel are either video requests in the comments that get a lot of likes or people DMing me information on Instagram. So if you have a video idea and it gets a ton of likes, or you want to DM it to me on Instagram, feel free to, because if it does get a lot of likes, that lets me know that people out there, you want to see it. And just like always, I'm a fan of the people, and I will always, and let me repeat that, I will always give the people what they want. I absolutely love making these high school videos and checking up on where all these former high school stars have been, because I honestly feel like I get as much enjoyment making them as you guys probably do watching them. It's exciting for me because it's almost like we're discovering a mystery that nobody knows about. Oh man, I'm trying to contain my excitement. This is going to be a good one. I hope you guys are excited to get into this video as I am making it. As always, we're on the road to 300k real quick. I'm not going to lie to you guys. Not only does it help the channel out whenever you subscribe, but it means a ton to me. There's a ton of you watching right now and you're not subscribed, and we've done this on the Julian Newman video, so let's try it on this one. However many subscribers we gain from this video, I'll tell you in the next one. Let's try to see if we can gain maybe 200 or 300 new subscribers from this video. It shouldn't be that hard. Alright, I know what you're saying. Yo, Matt, shut the crap up. Your intros are way too long, and yeah, I get it. Now, without further ado, let's get into it. The case study of today's video is no other than Mr. Emmanuel Maldonado, coming in at roughly 6'3", 170 pounds. This dude could hoop. There's always one thing, well I guess technically this could be labeled as two things, I look for in a great basketball player. Is he smooth on the court, and does the game come easy to him? For Emmanuel in high school, if you watched him alongside Julian Newman, he checked out the boxes for both of those. I would say he was kind of the sidekick to Julian Newman, and it's so strange and weird because yeah, Julian was 10 times more popular, but Emmanuel was probably 10 times better when it came to the game. And that was clear as day to see. You can go to any YouTube comment section and everybody was praising Emmanuel and saying, oh, well, this is a guy that needs his own show. For example, I'm not going to go over all the comments, you get the point, but you had people saying stuff like this. I love how the best player on Downey is finally getting some recognition. Under that, bro is raw as F, he just needs to get faster. Another comment, how is he not getting the spotlight over Julian Newman? Under that, imagine what he could do if he actually got the ball. I don't want to drag this out any longer than it needs to be. It's rather simple. He played alongside Julian Newman and he was really good. Eventually though, to make a really long story short, Emmanuel would start to go down his own path, and this is where in 2021 he announced that he was going to join OTE, which is Overtime Elite. I don't want to dive into this too much because I have mixed feelings and mixed emotions about OTE. The reason I have mixed feelings about it is because yeah, it's awesome. You can make $200,000 or $300,000 a year and get the fast money, but you're also giving up your college eligibility, which if you want to make it to the NBA, I think it's important. The college route will be, and especially with the name, image, and likeness right now, will always be the best route getting to the NBA. Why is it the best route? It's simple, because all those games are on college television and you get way more exposure. I want you to sit back and think about it. How many times do you see an Overtime Elite play on SportsCenter or ESPN? Zero. That's the only argument I'm going to have because it's the only argument I need. At the same time, I'm not trying to discredit any of these kids that go to OTE because I understand it. If you're a 16, 17, or 18-year-old, it's hard turning down $200,000 to $300,000. But here's my problem with it, and it goes back to OTE not being on TV or getting a lot of media coverage. You slowly start to fall off. Regardless of how I feel about OTE, that doesn't matter, but for Emmanuel Maldonado, I feel like that might have been the best choice for him, and I'll explain why. He wasn't ranked on ESPN, 24/7 Sports, and the only recruiting website with even a bio forum was Rivals. And according to Rivals, he wasn't even ranked, but they did have some of his offers posted. You see it right here, they had him listed at 6'3", 160 pounds, and that is on the lighter side. Also, I'm going to show you right here, they don't have him ranked on national, state position, nothing. He's just not ranked. But according to Rivals, he was talking to a lot of good schools and a lot of high D1 programs. Some of them, and I'm just going to show you right here, Bethune-Cookman, Florida Gulf Coast, Georgia Tech, Iowa State, Kansas State, Mary State, and North Florida. I mean, that's really not too bad, but here's the thing, none of those were official offers. He was just talking to them. Those were his interests. According to Rivals, the only school that officially offered him was Bethune-Cookman, so he technically did have a D1 scholarship. But as we all know, once you go to OTE, you throw your eligibility out the window. Here's why I think him taking the money with OTE was more than likely the best decision. Let's say, for example, he does go to Bethune-Cookman or another D1 program. The chances of him going to a program and even getting meaningful playing time, it's slim to none. Yes, I get it. He was good in high school. He had all the fancy moves, and he was a smooth player. He was good, don't get me wrong, but college, it's a different ballgame. In high school, about 85% of the people you're playing against are going to be driving for DoorDash in the future. In college, you got to think about it. Every single college athlete was the man on their high school team. I'm not saying he would have folded under the pressure in college. I'm just saying going to OTE and getting all that money, whether it was like $100K or $250K, I think it was the right choice. If you don't understand what I'm saying, let me dumb it down even more. I think if he would have went to Bethune-Cookman or another D1 school, he'd have been the 8th or 9th man and he wouldn't have played too much and have really a meaningful career. At least when you go to OTE, even if you are a bench player, a 6th man, or whatever, you're getting paid. He committed to OTE and they actually have him listed at 6'4". Maybe he did grow, I don't know, but they have him committed right here at 6'10", 21. And according to OTE, this is their official websites, in 8 games played, he didn't start a single one and he only averaged 8.5 points per game. When it comes to scoring, nothing too crazy and it wasn't all too hot. He only averaged 8.5 points per game and shot an abysmal 37% from the field. Shooting 37% from the field, not the greatest. On 3-pointers though, he was excellent. He was 5 for 9 and shot nearly 56%, or I was going to say 60%, but it's 56%. His numbers don't really wow you, or it doesn't really disappoint you, because you have to realize it's such a small sample size. And I'm just going to keep it real. I don't like to give my opinion on stuff I know nothing about, and I don't know much about this situation, because number one, I don't even know where you would try to watch an overtime elite game, because I don't think they're televised, and number two, even if they were, I more than likely still wouldn't watch them. But the reason I'm not going to criticize him too much or even talk about his numbers too much at OTE is because I don't know what the competition's like. Obviously, I know it's a bunch of 4- and 5-star recruits, but you don't know how hard they're going, and I don't watch the game, so I can't give you my opinion. The overtime elite stuff doesn't even matter too much anymore, because guess what? He's not even playing for them anymore. Check this out, and let me know in the comment section if you've ever heard of anything like this. But this is the first time I've seen something like this ever happen in my life. So on March 2nd of 2022, which is this current year, he got drafted 11th overall by the Mets de Guaynabo in Puerto Rico. So basically, he got drafted by a Puerto Rico team. I didn't even know there was a Puerto Rican league. And number two, I didn't even know they could draft people that was in America. I don't even want some of y'all to try to act like you knew this was a league. Be honest, did you know there was even another basketball league in the country? I didn't. Okay, my bad. Let me clarify that. I knew there was other basketball leagues, but I didn't know there was a Puerto Rican league. I'm going to show you this and read it off word for word. Emmanuel Maldonado got drafted 11th by the Mets de Guaynabo in the Barcelona Superior National League in Puerto Rico. This makes him the first overtime elite player to get drafted to another league around the world. Before we go any farther, hey, congratulations to my man Emmanuel Maldonado. He got drafted, and I guess that's the lottery for them. Here's what Emmanuel had to say about getting drafted, and I found this rather interesting. Getting drafted by the Mets de Guaynabo means so much to me as a Puerto Rican, and it really shows that hard work pays off. I've been challenging myself daily at Overtime Elite to get better and become a leader on my team, and for them to recognize me, that means a lot. While I'm still figuring out what's next, I appreciate everyone that has supported me, and I'm excited for the next step of my basketball journey. The part that intrigues me on that quote is he says, while I'm still figuring out what's next. You may be sitting there saying, yo, Matt, why does that intrigue you? And it's because You know, it almost feels like he's not too thrilled about it. Think about it. Do you hear a guy when he gets drafted by the NBA say, yeah, I'm happy, but I'm still trying to figure out what's next? No, because they know what's next. I almost get the vibe, and I feel like that Emmanuel wasn't all too excited about leaving Overtime Elite because I think he liked it there and going to a league where he doesn't know anybody. He went through with it, and here's the thing that we don't know. I tried doing a lot of research. I couldn't find anything. I wonder how much they offered him in money, because you know they're going to pay him for it. I am extremely curious. If you know anything about this league and how much they pay players who got drafted, please let us know in the comment section or send me a DM on Instagram. That's interesting, because in the NBA, if a guy gets drafted 11th overall, they're paying him probably, what is it, like $10 million a year? For a Puerto Rican league, I have no idea how much they're paying him, but I can guarantee you it's not $10 million, and I'd be shocked if it was even over $300K. I'm not trying to be disrespectful to the Puerto Rican Basketball League. I'm just going off of what I assume. Once again, if you know anything about that, fill us in the comment section, but here's where Emmanuel's story starts to go downhill. Leaving Overtime Elite, in my humble opinion, it was a risky decision because at least with OTE, he was playing a lot. Whenever you go over to this other league, you don't know if you're going to be the main guy or if you're going to be a bench player. And for the team that selected him, they're called the Mets. It didn't go good and he barely played. I did a lot of digging and research, and it wasn't even too long after they drafted him. It was actually in May. Remember this, he got drafted in March, and in May, that's literally like 2 or 3 months later, they traded him. They wound up trading him to a different team in that league, and here's where things get disrespectful. They traded him for a second-round pick. Me personally, if I was in those shoes, I would feel disrespected. How are you going to draft me in the first round with an 11th overall pick, then 2 or 3 months later, after not even letting me play, you're going to trade me for a second-round pick? Like, come on, man. Like, seriously, I feel bad for my man because they didn't even give him a chance. Like I was saying, though, they wound up trading him to a different team, and they go by the name of Cangrejo, something like that, and from what I've heard and gathered, he hasn't played too much for them either. Here's what the Cangrejo's basketball Instagram page they posted. We came to an agreement with Guinibo Mets where we received a trade for, Emmanuel Maldonado. We received Emmanuel for a 2023 second-round pick. The 19-year-old was picked with the 11th pick in the past BSN rookie draw. Maldonado participated in Overtime Elite and blah, 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 blah. He's barely played for both of these teams, so it's not even worth going over his stats because there's nothing even to talk about. That's the current update with him, and here's my dilemma with Emmanuel. Do I think he's good enough to be an NBA player? Heck to the no. He's only about 6'3", and Overtime Elite listed him at 6'4". Whatever. If you want to say he's 6'4", he's still only about 170 pounds. He is on the smaller side. Is he skilled? Yes. Can he shoot? Yes. He's a great point guard. I would say he's a good point guard, or maybe if you want to put him at shooting guard, he'll do just fine. But that's me comparing him to high school players and maybe some college players. When it comes to one of these Puerto Rican leagues or the NBA or overseas league, no, he's not going to be a great player. He's not going to be a star player. That's just the truth of the matter because this guy is small. I mean, look at his frame and build. And in that Puerto Rican league, I can guarantee you they're pretty physical. If you want to try to say and argue he has a shot to make it to the NBA, you've lost your absolute mind. However, I will give you this. I think he could succeed in an overseas league, like an Australian league or this Puerto Rican league. I think he could easily be a six-man off the bench or maybe potentially be a starter one day. You got to remember, this guy's still young. He's playing in a grown man's league, and he's still a kid, relatively speaking, so he's got time to develop. I think he's going to be just fine. As to what's next, I don't know, but here's what I do want to see. I want to see a team, and I don't care what league it is, I want to see a team that gives him an actual shot. Give him some meaningful minutes. Give him some meaningful playing time. And guess what? If he plays in 10 games, 20 minutes, and he sucks, okay, then put him on the bench. But I don't think it's right, and I don't think it's fair to him to draft him 11th overall and you put him on the bench right away. Why even waste a pick on him if you knew you weren't going to use him? I'm wishing this man the best of luck. Seems like a humble and great kid and just an overall cool person to be around. I'm also hoping that some team out there, they give him a chance. Look, you ain't got to make him your star player and your go-to guy, but at least give him 25-30 minutes per game. That's all I'm asking. I'm very curious, though. I found this an interesting video. Let me know your thoughts down below. But